All right. I'll just go like this for the next slide.
Okay.
Cool. So, Hacking Club. So last week was a great success. We had a packed room. Most of you guys, or many of you guys were there. And thank you so much for coming out. You guys are why we are here. We want to teach you and get you guys thinking outside the box of a academic perspective. Thinking that, you know, you need to do things this way because, you know, programming and anything that you do in computers, it's a form of art. So, you know, when you're given an assignment and they say, draw this circle, draw this box, they don't give you the opportunity to actually express the fun things about everything you can do as an artist. You know, there's different things you can do in terms of encryption, in terms of, I don't know, anything involved in hacking. Like you can write your own code, find out where things are, and things are just generally more fun. So that's what I want to do is I want to show you a little bit more in terms of encryption. So next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. So today this talk's going to be about who wants your data. You know, so there's governments, corporations, and your ex. Of course, your ex is going to want to see your shit because they're invading your life. They just want to know. But the ex can also be synonymous for anyone who just doesn't like you. Someone brushes up against you, doesn't like you. You know, they might be smart enough or bored enough to fuck up your life or your day. You know, you don't know what people know or who you piss off types of things. So, and it could be anything. You could be the best person in the world, but there could be somebody who wants to take advantage of you. Maybe you're a shop owner, right? And you do everything legitimately legal, but you're just in a bad neighborhood and they're just bad actors that want to shake you down or take some money from you, rob you, whatever else. So as we progress further into the future, there's different types of attacks that are going to be. Biometrics is getting very popular. The iPhone with the fingerprint scanner is being used more efficiently. And with biometrics, what are you going to have? Anybody idea? Like what's created when you put your fingerprint on something that saves your fingerprint? They save your fingerprint, right? How could that be used maliciously? Any ideas?
I mean, just somehow getting a hold of that image of a fingerprint or whatever and using it to do bad shit with.
Exactly. Using that fingerprint to do bad things with. So, if you have that fingerprint, you can easily frame somebody, put that fingerprint on a gun, a weapon, anything else, put you at the scene of the crime. So these are future types of crimes. There's a lot of really good books on future crimes. Apple, the way they do it is instead of actually saving your fingerprint, they save a hash of your fingerprint. How many of you guys are familiar with hashes? Raise your hands. A few people. Okay. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, a hash is like a fingerprint of a file or some type of data. So they produce this algorithm, you put it in, bam. It has this long fingerprint of a file, it's this long string, and it cannot be duplicated or copied. It is that exact thing. So they save that, but not your fingerprint. It's a one-way function. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that coming up. So they encrypt all the things, all of your traffic, your passwords. Having that one password is not the greatest thing, so a password manager. How to mitigate malware, text messaging, how to encrypt your text messages, and your hard drive and your browser and everything else. So, next slide, please. So you might be wondering, Kat gave me a little bit of explanation that I was a security analyst at Risk IQ, but who the fuck is this guy? I'm here, I'm saying a few things, but you don't really know too much about me other than what I've said in class or too much about my slides. Maybe you guys stalk me on Facebook or something, Alright. So, I'm Chris, stalk me gently. I have some certificates. I have my CompTIA Security Plus. I got that when I went to City College of San Francisco, the community college there. There's a professor named Sam Bone. He is a really, really, really smart individual, and he runs the hacking department over there. So I took a bunch of classes. One of them was Intro to Security, and with that I was able to get my Security Plus. Now, they also offer a CCNA program over there. So CCNA is Cisco Certificate Network Associate, meaning that how many of you have taken networking or classes or are familiar with networking? Show of hands. Okay, not too many. So then I think that's a problem. Like, this is our school, computer science, networking. It's not your guys' fault either. It's not your guys. It's the setup of how everything is here. So it's my goal to make some challenges where you guys learn hands-on about different types of networking things in conjunction with security. So CCNA says I understand layers 1 through 7 from the ones and zeros of information as it gets passed through electrical currents by like a -5 or +5 watt currents, and then as well as like fiber. Light is a 1 and the absence of light is a 0, so it's fiber. All the way up to level 7, how it presents and how it looks. So classes, some of the classes I've taken. I've taken Intro to Security, which is the one I got my CompTIA Security Plus. I've also taken Ethical Hacking Network Defense, where we would set up virtual machines and have them attack each other. One victim and one attacker. And that's another workshop that we'll be doing coming up. So we will teach you guys how to set up virtual machines on your host computer, so Windows, Mac, doesn't matter, Linux as well, and how to set up machines inside your machine, right? Get deep. And then practical malware analysis, the same exact principle. Set up one virtual machine that simulates the internet, like a DNS server, and then another virtual machine that's the malware will run on, and you just throw the malware in there, connect them up, and see, you take a snapshot of the registries before and a snapshot afterwards, and you see what changed. You know, what did this malware do? Did it infect any libraries? What did it do when it finished? What calls did it make to the internet? Because then you can find out where this malware is going, where it's connecting to back home. And then security-related stuff that I've done. DEF CON. So DEF CON is in Las Vegas, and it is probably the origin of where I decided what I want to do with my life. I will go more into that in a minute. CC Camp, Chaos Communication Computer Group, it was the first hacker group ever in the world. And it started in Berlin, and they have an event every 4 years. It's called CC Camp, and they equate it to the Burning Man, but for hackers. So you're out in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and you just have a bunch of hackers doing all these things. Raise your hand if you guys know about either, well, the Pirate Bay or Kick-Ass Torrents. Anyone ever heard of it? All right, cool. So all three of those people attended CC Camp and stuff like that prior to them being locked up. Now they're not there. But some of their friends and stuff would write postcards saying, like, you know, write to our friends who are in jail and stuff like that. And other political fighters as well. So B-Sides, that one was here in San Francisco. It's also in Las Vegas about 1 week prior to DEF CON. So it's another hacker gathering, more of a conference type thing. So and then Bay Threat is another one here in the Bay that I actually got to volunteer at, which was a great opportunity. Doing security at a security event, everyone tries to come up on you. There's like trying to cut in line for the food, and it's like, come on, dude, like, I'm trying to don't do this, you know. But that's the hacker mindset, right? So, next slide. So, what is DEF CON? So, it is about 5,000 to 10,000 hackers that meet up at this one location in Las Vegas, and they hack. They do everything. There's conference-sized rooms, the size of Jack Adams Hall, or the entire squad size. Just like 5 of them set up. Lockpicking, so you learn how to lockpick. They set up lockpicks there for you. They teach you how to do these things. Wireless hacking, they set up wireless devices. They say, okay, hack it. We'll show you how to do this. There's this one competition called the Wall of Sheep. So if you connect to DEF CON's Wi-Fi, don't do it. You are able to use their internet, they provide internet, but if you send anything over the wire that's not encrypted, they record it, they project it on the wall, has your username, your password, where you connect to, what port, and what you're trying to look at. So they're generous enough to blur out your username and blur out your entire password, but it's kind of a reminder saying, like, come on, you need to be aware of what you're doing when you're in public. So next slide. So more about DEF CON. It's TED Talks, but hacker talks. So the creator Jeff Moss, he created this type of event similar to this hacking club, but wanted to make it bigger and bigger, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And the talks were legit as fuck. Like, you had people that would break iPhones and Apple devices, that would break Cisco devices. Like, oh, I found a bug, check this out, and would talk about it. So much so that the lawyers of Cisco and Apple would come in and say, you can't talk about this, this is not okay. And even the federal government would come in, the feds, the FBI and stuff, they would say, no, you can't talk on this. But in America, we have free speech, so they say, we're going to talk about it anyways. Jeff Moss, the owner, actually got subpoenaed for providing he got subpoenaed saying that we want all of your customer data, all the information and stuff like this. And Jeff Ma says, oh, well, we're only going to do cash, so we don't have any data. So this is the event provider. This is his type of mindset. He wants everyone to learn. It is also a competition. There are many, many different types of competitions at DEF CON. One of the biggest ones is CTF. So this CTF over here is more about learning in terms of like Jeopardy style questions. Like I give you this algorithm, it's a ROT13. What is, or I give you this encrypted string, it's ROT13. Figure it out. You Google ROT13, you find it's a rotating thing, and then you create the password. These ones are a little bit more fun, and I want to actually have some exercises on these ones as well, eventually. These ones you set up, your virtual machines. Team A has a server, Team B has a server. Team A needs to hack Team B's server. There's a time increment with every 5 minutes that goes by. If Team A compromises Team B, every 5 minutes you guys gain points. As Team B tries to hack Team A, if you guys defend it efficiently enough, you will still get more points. So this is how the game works. There's many teams and everyone's hacking each other, so it's a beautiful game. This is one of the types of competitions. There's also a scavenger hunt. You're in Las Vegas. You have to find some random thing like 3 eggs. I don't know. Different types of challenges. Very, very fun. Crash and Compile is one of them. Wireless hacking challenges, as well as a bunch of other ones. And then I mentioned the Village is other. And then, of course, you're in Las Vegas, so everyone gets fucked up. So one thing about this talk I want to stress is that arguing about that you don't care about privacy because you have nothing to hide is no difference than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. These principles are critical. Like, you might not need to say anything now, but the right to say something means more. So the right to your information means something, whether you feel like it doesn't now or later. Maybe later it will, but so why is your data insecure? Next question. So it's difficult to determine a threat model. So who are you trying to avoid? Are you trying to avoid the neighbor who keeps looking over at you while you're taking out the trash? It's kind of weird, Or is it a corporation trying to follow every single site that you go to, look at every website you visit, all your porn, try to analyze you? Or is it the government? You're unsure how to secure data. That's another big issue. So it's like, well, I want it to be secure, but I don't know how to actually do it. So, just confused like Mark Wahlberg. Or the last reason, the lazy fuck face. Like, you just don't want to do it. This is the biggest thing in security is keeping up with it, because it's kind of like cleaning. It's like, your house is going to get dirty, yeah, but you have to actively clean it. Same with security, the same exact mentality. You actively have to make sure you go through these practices, because if you're just like, I'm just going to put it on my desktop, then your desktop's full of all those bullshit links that you're never going to actually use or used it once kind of thing, so it's got to be proactive. So again, don't feel bad. So determine your threat model. So governments want to know everything about you. Corporations, they want to know everything about you as well. And your ex-girlfriend wants to know everything about you, or boyfriend. Yeah, just because you broke up with me doesn't mean I broke up with you, right? So the less information someone has about you, the better. When I walk into Starbucks and it's like, hey, what's your name? John. My name's John. Because, you don't really need to know my name. You don't need to be on expert level. I can give them my name. What's that going to hurt, right? It really won't hurt anything. But what would hurt if I didn't give them my name? It doesn't really matter. Like, what is in your name? So your network is probably something like this. You have your computer, you have maybe a server, you have a firewall, the internet, and a link out to the internet. Just don't stare at this model and feel like you think this is life. This is just a template. There's a few things that's completely wrong with this, but it's close enough. So your network might look like this. My network kind of looks like that. So I modeled my entire computer based off of this operating system. It's called Cubes. Every single one of these is a virtual machine. The colors represent the different threat models. Red being vulnerable, meaning I'll look at some sketchy-ass website and download some sketchy-ass stuff, but it's contained here. The green ones are a little bit more higher level. And the black ones are something I just don't want anyone, it cannot be connected to the internet at all. Maybe it has my private keys, maybe it has all of my passwords. So I have this virtual machine that's not connected to any part of the network. Does anybody have any questions so far?
What's that operating system?
Great question. What's the operating system? This one is called Cubes OS. It's a Type 1 hypervision virtual machine software. So it's based on Linux. If you guys haven't played with Terminal, I'd suggest putting in a virtual machine and playing with it a little bit. And we will go over how to set up virtual machines.
Can you just throw something out there real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
In terms of like security type OSs that you should consider, Cubes is good, Tails is awesome, and so is Kali. So definitely look into all three of those. They're all based off of Linux as well.
Yes.
So.
That's a great point. So all of those are very good. Tails is great for anonymity. Kali is good if you want to fuck some shit up. It is literally a hacking VM, or not VM, it's an operating system. So a lot of security admins have it. I have it on my USB, so I can plug it into any Windows computer and boot it from that instead. And bam, I got a hacked computer on your home or whatever. Yeah, so next slide. Alright, so why does the government want your data? Reason 0 is because you could be a threat to national security. You could actually do something that would eventually be bad. The other one is meta prediction. So now the government is saying like, well, this person downloaded a Tor, this person downloaded Kali Linux, this person did this. They also looked up how to make a bomb. They also looked at their school in the same time. And you know, they also emailed the school department saying that they're distressed about something or whatever. So with these types of underlying things, they could label you as a threat. And that doesn't mean you are a threat. So just because a government labels you as such doesn't mean you are a threat. It does project it like maybe something could be happening, but that's not a legitimate reason for them to assign you a title or label. And the last one is because you don't fight for your rights. It's easy for a bully to take something if you don't stand up and fight for yourself. Same with governments. The government is the #1 group that will take as much as they can unless you have an opposer like push to fight it. So in terms of your privacy, your rights, and your security, the government will always try to take more and more because they want to have that more power and understanding about who you are. When they know about who you are, they can determine the different types of in-house threats. And the people that are fighting, like the EFF and stuff like that, they do all they can to protect the rights of the people, us. And it will always be a progression of the government taking rights. We will never receive more rights than we have ever had. We will only be having our rights stricken. So we must do our best to fight all of that to decrease the time that we'll be taking it. So, you ready to see some top secret US documents? Yeah? Yeah? Got it? Alright, cool. Next slide. So, this is what top secret document looks like. Super fucking boring, a lot of shit blacked out. Yeah, you know, ugly as shit. This is an intercept of PGP. So this was one of the documents that Snowden had released. They're available online. You can download them, take a look at them. As you can see, it wasn't supposed to be released till 2032, January 8th. It's definitely not that time. So, cool. Next slide, please. And this is basically saying that the government cannot decrypt PGP. No decryption available for this PGP encrypted message. Top secret, committed rail to the US, some numbers, some dates, and some things. So this was, I believe the NSA created this document, and it's labeled top secret. So PGP is cool. They know that the government can't decrypt it, at least during that time. So keep up with the latest types of encryption methods as well. So. This is another one. This one is for intercepting OTR. So it's another type of encryption method off the record. We're going to go into more details about PGP as well as OTR. But this is a chat that they had with somebody in 2012, March 16th. It's around the same time as NinjaSec was doing some stuff. So I don't know how many of you went to the event last time, but they talked about the different types of things that NinjaSec was doing in relation, but this is like definitely data. Their active user IP address, things like that. And next slide, please. And then they also said they can't decrypt it. So OTR we know is legit, at least during this time. Again, you want to keep up with your technology and see exactly what the latest ones are. Next slide, please. All right, so why do corporations want your data? Because you like to buy things. And yeah, and then of course your ex. Why did they want all your information? Blow you up. Well, it's like, you know, when you love somebody or you give you're really close to somebody, they are one of the people that can probably hurt you the most. And of course you accept that as risk. And so they know your name, your date of birth. Maybe they know your email address, right? Maybe they know your photos. Is your locations turned on when you take pictures? When you take a picture, there's something called a zip, where it saves the GPS location inside of that picture. There used to be a website that you could go to, and it says, "Are they home?" You would plug in an Instagram or Twitter username, and it would check the photos. It would check all the photos that that person had, check the zip data, and it would determine where they live based on where they upload their pictures. If you upload your pictures a lot in one area, that's probably where you live. Then it checks the last picture that that person uploaded, and given the time constraint between that location and the most common one, they can determine if you are home or not. Eventually got taken down because people were using it for illegal things, but while it was up, it was just a reminder to say, you need to turn this off. You need to be aware when you take a picture if it's the geolocation is on. Other things too, your pet and your favorites. Okay, so if your ex knows all of these things about you, I don't know, I won't even ask for the raising of hands, but I'm sure some of you know or have passwords that include your name, date of birth, somebody you love, your pet maybe, or something of your favorites. And this is very common. Most people in the world do this, and most people know this. The #1 password is? Password. All right, cool. Yes. Does anyone know the #2?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, these are all good ones. So it's not too difficult for a hacker or a smart college student to make a file or find a file with all the passwords or most common passwords there are, and just brute force every single one of them at that user, right? Because it's probably going to be one of those. All right, next slide, please. So what do? Now you know the different levels of how the government is looking into your stuff. So, you know, you're in the street, say, wake the fuck up. Now you know what you should do. You can either, you have the choice. So, yeah. So, all right, training starts right now. Don't be, never stop being curious. And train every day. So, here we go. Right here, this is called symmetric encryption. One key, one lock. Same key unlocks everything, right? With me so far? Okay. Asymmetric encryption. Does anyone know what asymmetric means? Solid?
Not the same.
Not the same. Yes, perfect. So it's not the same. Asymmetric meaning that you have one key to lock something and another key to decrypt it. So basically this is saying like you give this, which is called your public key, out to everybody. So there's two things, your public key and the message. And combining it, the only person that can decrypt it is the person with that private key. I unlock it, I can see the string, whatever message you want to send. We're going to go over GPG, XMPP, OTR, VPNs, Tor, encrypted text messaging, password manager, SSH versus FTP, and HTTP versus HTTPS. All right, PGP. We kind of just went over it a little bit. It's like it's private key and public key. So you generate two keys that come out. You take your public key and you put it up on what are called key servers. So if anyone wants to search my name, Chris Magistrado, they look up in all the key-based servers, which there's only like 3 or 4. You can have more, doesn't matter. For my name. When they find my name, they get my public key. And then they say like, oh, I gotta tell Chris something super important, but I don't want anyone knowing. Everyone along that communication will know it's encrypted, they won't know what it says. And then I get it, decrypt it, I know it. So, can you go back to this? So yeah, this is the public key being sent to the center, plain text password, you combine it, you get the ciphertext, the encrypted part. And then you receive it, you got the ciphertext, you use your private key, you decrypt it. So this is what we're going to do in hands-on today, so hope you guys are ready for some of the fun. Next one. OTR and Pigeon, which is XMPP. So this is another type of asymmetric encryption. Again, this is from an end-to-end setting. So you can easily download it as a plugin, configure it, generate, boom, you have this string, this fingerprint. And from there, all of your message at that point would be encrypted all the way down the line. Now, that doesn't mean that the messages that you're sending back and forth aren't saved. The other side can log it, you can log it, so don't think like what you say to this person, you'll never be seen again. Same with Snapchat. Don't think that you're sending a message or some news that aren't going to be saved. Government will save all your news. It's government, right? All right, next one, please. And VPNs. How many of you are familiar with VPNs? Oh, good. A lot of you. All right, cool. For the people that aren't familiar with VPNs, VPNs stand for Virtual Private Network. They do many types of things. They allow encryption all the way through to wherever you're connecting to. So who does not see that information? When you have a VPN and it's running and you're connected and you go visit a website, who can see, or better, but who doesn't see what you look at?
The other server?
The other servers. Some servers do, but the main one is your ISP doesn't. Has anyone ever heard about Comcast sending you or someone you know a message about how they stream something illegally or downloaded or torrented? Yeah? This is how they do it. They look to see everything that you look up. They say, oh, they're going to Pirate Bay. Let's monitor the traffic at this point and check this out. A lot of people think like, why would they target me? They're not targeting you, they're targeting every single customer they have. They just report it. They write one program, do it all. It's just simple for them. And the dirtiest thing about it is when they message you or they say, hey, you need to fess up or pay some money because you did this. First of all, they will not pursue you or do anything in a legal manner. They will not sue you, they will not take you to court. They will not seek action. Anybody know why? It's more like a business question. Yes! Alright, cool. It costs too much money. They're not going to pursue you because it costs them way too much to send a lawyer to your house, subpoena you, have you come in court, when they can just push out or bully every single user and just have them send them money. So don't ever buy into this bullshit. They send you a letter, don't answer it. They don't know you did it. They know somebody on your network did it. If they don't have the money to prove it work, don't worry about it. The other thing that happens is you're able to connect to anywhere in the world. So, my friend visited Paris, and she wanted to watch Netflix. You can't watch Netflix in Paris, as well as in China and other locations. Yeah, where is it?
Most of the world.
Most of the world, yeah, you can't watch Netflix. So, I told her, oh, you can use my VPN, go ahead and do it. So she connected back to the United States. Every single website she visited, it said it was in the United States, she was able to watch Netflix. But it could also be used for other types of reasons, right? Maybe you want to read a news article that talks about President Obama that's not in the United States. It's not clouded by this specific, version of what we see it. There's been some documentaries that have been blocked in the United States, and I wanted to watch them, so I went over to the UK and watched it. And yeah, they talked a little shit about America, but nothing where I thought it should have been blocked in my country. Why censor something like this type of information? The best thing about VPNs, or one of the best things, is that it's encrypted all the way through. So ISPs don't know what you're looking at, they don't know any of the data that passes through. So if you're on a public network, whether it be a stick, or it be out at a coffee shop, or at your home, then it's not going to be, unless you have this, it won't be encrypted. And then your ISP doesn't know what you do, so that's also super good for you. And the United States cannot just decrypt this information either, so another great thing. Boom. The onion router. Before.
Node that collects information about everything that passes through and then.
Yes. So these are called correlations attack. Government got pretty smart and they're like, all right, well, I know the ISP and I know this dude's connecting here. I also run this Tor node, as anyone can run these Tor nodes and set up their computers as Tor networks. So the government runs this. They see you go out to www.sketch.com and they analyze the traffic going in here and going out here. They see the exact same time, the same size packets. They know that this person I connected at that time is here. Now, there's different types of ways to avoid this. You can use Tor nodes that aren't located in what are called the 5 Eyes. The 5 Eyes of government, these are 5 governments that are actively looking to de-anonymize people. I can go over more about that later. And most of this talk is simply or it's not something you'll ever have to. Not ever. This is just more information about something if that's not pertaining to our workshop. But as long as you stay on the Tor network, such as connected to hidden services or Tor websites, you will remain anonymous. Because it doesn't ever leave the network, it just stays here. And that's an important distinction. Next slide, please. All right, so encrypted text messages. How many of you heard about the Apple FBI issue that happened in the last few months? You people? All right, yeah. So it was, for those that you don't know, the FBI subpoenaed Apple saying we need to get into this one person's phone. They used the what was the location of the attack? Yeah, so they used that saying we need to get into the San Bernardino attacker's iPhone. It's encrypted. We can't get into it. We're gonna contact Apple, tell them to decrypt it. Give us the keys. The biggest problem with that is if you give one company or one government the keys, they're not the only ones who are going to be having those keys. People in third world regimes will also have those keys. So if you have any activists that are trying to fight that power, if they have an iPhone, boom, they're compromised. Their telecommunication network goes down, all shit to hell. Same with journalists though, other areas. So not only will the United States government share that key with other governments they trust, people that hack the US government or weaker governments will also get those keys. So now you have all the illegal people in the world having these communications. All the black markets, all the mafias, they all have these keys now, right? And this is a big problem. And Apple understood this, like, no, we're standing by our product and saying, no, we will not give you any private keys or decrypted keys. And what did the FBI do, or the government do? They said, all right, fine. Like, oh, well, they went to as far as in court. The court said no, so they hired another security team to get into the phone, right? Snowden released a technical article saying, like, yeah, the government actually could have gotten the phone the entire time. So the reason the government hired a security company to do it is because it would just look so bad. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to get inside this phone, and then they couldn't get it, and it was like, oh yeah, we could have done it the entire time. So to save face, they have another company do it, right? So